Welcome to Live Action Star Wars. I'm Ralph,
I'm James.
and today we are discussing the Book of Boba Fett, Chapter 1, Stranger in a Strange Land. We're not doing it alone. We're joined by co-host of the Ralph Report, co-host of the Ramble. You could see his comedy unspecial through anything. It's streaming in a lot of places, including Prime Video. It's the one and only Mr. Eddie Pence.
Hey.
First of all, that intro is amazing. The graphics. You guys really spent some money on that. That was
wow. You want to know how much? I can tell you how much.
Please tell me.
$15.
Wow.
Yeah.
Good investment.
Yeah.
I designed the logo.
I designed the logo, went to I think it's called Fiverr.
Fiverr?
Gave it to a dude. Yeah. And they have, you can they show, you can go look and see the graphics.
Wow.
And
I got to do that for the Ramble.
Yeah.
We don't have any of that.
Yeah. It was awesome. I love it. And this show, very, very high budget.
Yeah.
Very high budget.
You can tell it's all spent right there at the beginning.
Right.
That's it. We got nothing else.
That's
nothing else,
it.
but right there at the beginning. Wow, you're hooked.
Yeah. Thanks for joining us, man.
Yeah. Thanks for having me.
Sounds like James is watching the show, which means it's live. We're live.
It's live.
That's great. Book of Boba Fett, Chapter 1.
Yeah.
Stranger in a Strange Land.
First of all, awesome Iron Maiden title.
I was going with Lost Season 3.
Yeah, we're Lost fans.
Oh,
and so
I went straight to Iron Maiden.
Well, this is I would say the worst episode of Lost. The least enjoyed episode of Lost was called this.
Oh,
but because of that, I always remembered the title.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay. I always remember because of the song "Stranger in a Strange Land."
Pretty famous book as well.
From Iron Maiden, Somewhere in Time.
Oh yeah, I heard it's a book.
Yeah,
is it a book too? It's Iron Maiden.
Yeah,
Iron Maiden song.
It is a book. Since we're doing this live, we have the chat open. Scott D is here. Scott said, enjoy the flashback to what happened after Return of the Jedi. The dragging imprisonment, torture by Tusken Raiders gave me a Conan vibe. Hope the flashbacks continue while in the back to tank. Agree.
Yeah. I think that was
Scott's all business. There's no preamble with Scott.
No.
Straight to it.
No.
He's just like lick it and stick it. Let's go.
Yeah, let's go.
And he didn't even ask. He didn't even say, "Hey, how come there's a?" He didn't even ask, "How come there's a stormtrooper down there?"
No, there was no kissing or anything. He just straight forward.
Here we go. Rural farm boy at least says hi. How do you?
Hi, rural farm boy. That stormtrooper, you mentioned it. That stormtrooper that was in the Sarlacc pit with him. Did that look like an action figure to anyone else, or was it just me?
It did look like an action figure. Did it look like the neck was fused to the shoulders, like the classic Kenner?
That's exactly what I was thinking.
That's Filoni and Favreau. Of course,
absolutely. Again, it's them just saying, "Hey, we're playing with our toys again."
Yeah. I bet you that shot, since it could be an effect shot, they made like a Sarlacc model
giant one
and just put that in there.
Yeah, I could see it. I could see it.
But I mean, I think the thing we wanted when we first saw this trailer, when Boba Fett sat on that throne a year ago at the end of Mandalorian, and we knew the series was coming, we knew we were going to see the Sarlacc. You knew you were going to see him come out of the Sarlacc pit, and that was, I think, what we all as Boba Fett or Star Wars fans have wanted since he came out, since he flew out in the comic book, in the expanded universe.
Yeah. This was.
I prefer
it. Bit
this. I think is so much better than just the basic. Like he just flew out because he has a jetpack. I like the fact that he was all messed up in this. It was like, no, it has some stakes. It had some ramifications.
And the helmet doesn't have any sort of breathing device.
Yeah,
no, we learn.
Or if it did, like it was damaged or something. But yeah,
because you saw him take the tube and get some oxygen.
That's great. It's kind of great.
Cool.
It all sort of made sense as far as the aftermath of Return of the Jedi to the Jawas showing up, because we all know Jawas are, junk collectors. So of course they would find this.
Well,
and of course that would be the thing.
If you read the Aftermath books, did you guys read the Aftermath books where they found, that's where what's his face got the armor from? He got the armor from Jawa. So it's kind of cool they were connecting dots from those things too. It's great.
I thought it's amazing that they are tying in that stuff. Like when they rebooted all the canon and everything, they sort of said,
I can't wait till we go to Naboo and see Jar Jar as a
That's
hobo.
exactly what I said. Yeah, I was in Seville,
singing
Spain.
And dancing.
I was in Seville last month, and I went to like the fountain where he's doing that, and I sort of talked about it briefly on a video. Yeah,
can't wait to see that.
It doesn't please Ralph. He wants more for Jar Jar.
No, let's not forget. Shit.
Oh yeah, he's your best friend.
No, perfect.
He's
perfect tribute to Jar Jar. Perfect tribute to Jar Jar. You drop it. That's a perfect tribute.
I know.
That's what Jar Jar would have done.
My tongue.
So before we went to the before we sort of flash back to anything else with Boba Fett, like we saw like he was in the tank and he was getting like flashes of first Camino and then Geonosis. I thought that was great. I want to see more shots. Camino. Yes,
they're new shots,
or at least in like an extended version of the Geonosis scene.
The Geonosis looked like it was different angles. I don't know if that was created in
possibly
in CG.
It kind of looked like the same kid actor, so I'm assuming
it was credited. It was definitely credited as Daniel Logan. So
it's got to be an unused take or something like that. They had.
That's what I figured. Yeah.
Which gets me excited for, as Scott mentioned earlier. I'm hoping the flashbacks continue.
Yeah, definitely.
I'm sure this whole story is going to be told this way.
But let's get some Daniel Logan.
Bookend, won't it? Yeah.
Daniel Logan flashbacks would be amazing.
Yeah.
I mean, I know his character was in Clone Wars. I've watched those once, and I don't feel like revisiting. That's why this is live action Star Wars.
Come on.
But I would love to see some of this stuff.
Me too.
He likes it. Yeah.
Clone Wars Rebels is some of the best Star Wars ever made.
We all agree on that one. We all agree.
I agree on.
Right.
There's so much Clone Wars. There's so much Clone Wars. It's
Clone Wars
tough to revisit it.
Right. There's a lot of George Lucas having no one saying, "Hey, George Lucas, stop."
But that last season
never happens.
But the last season of Clone Wars is amazing.
Yeah. He's your best friend.
He's a dancing hobo. That's what he is.
No, he's
a dancing hobo.
Well, we had a thing that's in a book, right? And that could be canon, sure. But me and James were saying in the Obi-Wan series, we hope that Obi-Wan shows up to Dexter's diner. Jar Jar sitting at the bar. Jar Jar sitting at the bar, a fucking drunk mess because of what he did, what he caused.
We want to see him suffer a little bit. And we definitely need more Dexter Jetster in the universe.
Always more Dex.
Yes. Hey, listen, anything to help the prequels along. Like you saw Spider-Man. James, I don't know if you have.
Yeah, I saw it last night.
But nice. It made the Andrew Garfield movies a little bit better. And sure. I feel like with some of the prequel stuff in Mandalorian kind of elevated the prequels.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like that's what Filoni and Favreau are doing with Mandalorian and now Book of Boba Fett.
I mean, they're actually doing it with, he was doing it like since the Clone Wars, wasn't he? Like he was just like, there's some good stuff in there. We can just elevate it.
And he's doing that with the prequels, and he's actually, you can tell, especially with Mandalorian, he's trying to connect the dots to the sequel trilogy and trying to make that a better trilogy.
Especially in Bad Batch.
Yes.
With
and where Bad Batch season 2 is going, that's going to be,
I'm kind of excited for Bad Batch season 2, even though I had issues with the first season, real issues with the first season.
You did.
You really didn't like it. Like, I'm shocked to hear you say.
How about if it was live action? Would you have liked it if it was live action?
I don't know. Well, if it was live action, they'd probably make it like half the amount of episodes.
Yes.
And I feel like a tightening instead of here we go, protecting and saving Jabba the Hutt's future Rancor, like stick to the Omega stuff. Like,
but don't you want to know how that Rancor got there?
Especially when we're bound to see it in a couple of episodes' time of this, I think. I feel like that's what
she said he had
the animated series are doing.
She said he had a menagerie.
Yeah.
So there's a bunch of stuff down there, not just a Rancor.
Yeah.
Which is exciting.
Rathars. There's gonna be Rathars down there.
Ooh.
Borgullet.
That's where it came.
All of them.
Yeah,
all of them. There was a monster in this episode which I loved. Straight up Ray Harryhausen.
Gonna say I've got that note exact.
That kind of looked like one of the early concept models for Jabba the Hutt.
Oh yeah.
Oh, I don't remember that.
Oh, I mean, because I think I saw it in one of those Return of the Jedi documentaries they were doing when they're all the concept models for different Jabba the Hutts, and I think that. There was a creature with like 3 arms or 2 arms. It was one of the early concept.
Oh, that's awesome. So it wouldn't surprise me. You know how much they love to take the old
Macquarie stuff.
Yeah, the Macquarie stuff and just sort of reuse it. And
I think that was an early concept model of Jabba the Hutt, but I'm not positive.
That's cool. It made me think of like some of the artwork that we've seen in comics of stuff of Gundarks. Yeah. Like just because of like the 4 arms and stuff like that. But it wasn't too much. Like,
is it a Gundark? Do you think it's a?
I don't think so. I think it's a new thing.
Because if that's a Gundark, then that makes the line cooler.
Pull the arms off a Gundark
in Clones, Attack of the Clones.
Mm-hmm. I don't think it is just because we've seen those in some of the animated shows, and they seem to stick more to those designs.
Yeah. Scott D says, love when young Boba Fett's pick up the helmet. We know his dad's dead in there. Young Boba Fett has to take his dad's head out of that helmet. If you look closely in Attack of the Clones,
they added it, didn't they?
There's a shot when the head gets cut off. You see 2 shadows, one for the helmet and one for the head. You got to look really. It's like a split-second thing. But the head.
I was always waiting for it to slide out as he was holding it up.
Yeah, I think Raw Farm Boy here he's shouted that out. He's said
like dog food.
Yeah. Like
can shaped.
That's cranberry some robot chicken stuff right there.
Looks like Brent Dozerman's in the chat. Hey Brett. Let's see. Geek Dad Life's here. Happy Boba Fett Day. I have a minute because I want to get. Oh, he doesn't want to watch because he.
Oh wow.
Tonight,
okay.
So. Sorry, we've spoiled anything.
Well,
I don't know if there's much to spoil. I mean, you want a spoiler? Max Rebo lives.
That's exactly what I was going with.
Was that Max Rebo? Wasn't he on the barge?
He was on the barge. I rewatched it recently, and he was definitely on the barge.
Was on the barge too.
There we go. So maybe they got off. Maybe they took a skiff.
Well, they were both in Jabba's section. We'll have to look at the cross section of the destruction sitting there to see what areas. If anything's going to be fortified, it's going to be the section that Jabba the Hutt is in.
Right.
So maybe anybody in there survived, but Jabba didn't because he was choked out.
Yeah, that's it. Or as soon as Leia got on there and started choking him out, maybe they just went, you know what, screw this, we're gone. And Bib Fortuna wanted, a band to play with, so he took Max and he's like, come on, let's go.
They're all college roommates.
Yeah, that's it. No, it's just his favorite band.
It was him, a Bith, and a droid, and the song was almost the Cantina song.
It was a remix, wasn't it? It was
but it had acoustic guitar, which is 100% Robert Rodriguez playing. It's gotta be.
I thought exactly the same thing. Though that wasn't Robert Rodriguez as the Bith, because Rodriguez was in the show.
Was it his eyes?
No, he was the Trandoshan who brings the Wookiee pelt.
Oh, okay.
Oh, can I say that Trandoshan looked way better than the Mandalorian versions?
Completely agreed. We saw it in the trailers. We saw a few Trandoshan, and hopefully they'll be what we get more going forward, because the ones in Mandalorian didn't even look like Trandoshan.
Hopefully we get Bosk.
There we go.
That's all I care about.
Yep.
That's all I care about.
Yep.
I want more Bosk. The fact that they've now set up the Trandoshans as speaking English in live action. I know in Clone Wars they spoke English or basic. And it's going to be awesome. Who is going to be the voice of Bosk if Bosk shows up?
Ooh.
I don't know. I noticed Matt Berry in the credits. Was he?
Yeah, Matt Berry was. He was the droid.
He was the tank. Okay.
No, he was the droid who was announcing like who was coming in and everything.
Oh, he's the old torture droid from the basement.
Yeah. Oh, the one that was pulling the thing down on the god droid. Yeah. Speaking of Robert Rodriguez, let me just say right now, I like this more than The Mandalorian. I feel
we're more familiar with it than The Mandalorian. I mean, The Mandalorian was a whole new thing that we're like, what is this? Boba Fett, this is stuff we've been waiting since 1983 to see.
It's sets that we know, it's characters that we know, it's species that we know. Like it's,
just the feeling of it felt more like Star Wars to me.
Okay.
Again, because I think we saw Jabba's palace right from the get-go. We're like, oh my god, they rebuilt Jabba's palace.
There were shots throughout that were like one for one.
Yeah.
It wasn't just the Jabba's palace stuff. Like even the angle that they were looking down on the Sarlacc pit and stuff like that. It was just like
it was so familiar feeling. Like watching, you're like, oh, this feels like an extension of the original trilogy.
And it worked for me. I don't think they overplayed that, but for some people, I can imagine them going, it's just it's more member berries. But it works. Like when you use it in the way that they did here to tell the new story, it makes sense. It's good.
Yeah, I really enjoyed it. Let's see here. I took some notes. Fennec's mask now shows up in the opening with where it says Star Wars with the flashing on the mask. I don't think that had been there before. But
no, cool. They add any new helmets that are in any of the shows. They always sort of add those in, don't they?
Now,
it's a cool helmet.
I have a question about what you guys think about how the Boba Fett we saw in The Mandalorian when he took out like an entire legion of stormtroopers with a gas stick. That's a different Boba Fett than the one that got manhandled by 3 sand people and the one who got his jetpack hit and he flew into the cell barge and down into the Sarlacc pit. And the one who just sort of clumsily going along out of the Sarlacc pit. That's a different Boba Fett. So does he learn from the Sand People how to fight like that?
I mean, I don't know.
We're gonna see a training series.
when he shows up in Mandalorian, he's got gaffy sticks.
That's what I'm saying. But he's a badass in that fight scene.
He must.
I think we're either going to get some training or a case of like they now have some more respect for him because of what he did. So we're definitely getting more of that. But like I took the fact that he got his ass handed to him a lot was more a case of like he was all fucked up from being in the Sarlacc pit.
Right.
That's why like he's all scarred and everything. That's why he's in the back to tank later.
But that was always one of the things about Boba Fett from the original trilogies. He went out like a chump. Like he
absolutely.
He went out with a Wilhelm scream. Like it's like there's not a worse way to go out than with a Wilhelm scream. And that's
we never really see him. Like me and Ralph have talked about this a few times. Like you don't see him. We hear about it, but we don't see him being all that cool.
And we saw that with the Robert Rodriguez directed episode of The Mandalorian, where he's just dismantles 20 stormtroopers.
Mm-hmm.
And so this is him getting his sort of mojo.
Yeah, and that's
it's how Boba got his groove back.
Right.
Oh, boy.
I thought it was interesting that he can still fight, like even like in the we'll call it present day of this show. He can fight, he can still go, but like he doesn't have the stamina. Like he gets hit a few times by the guys with the shields, and then he needs to go back into that back to tank because he's still beaten up quite a bit. So it's like he's still got all of that training, whether he got it from the Sand People or from his dad or anything, but he still needs to recover after pretty much every fight.
Yeah, that was interesting.
I thought that was interesting. It sets up the show going forward, I think.
He's broken. I'm wondering, since he's an unaltered clone, if maybe we're going to explore genetic makeup that's kind of fucked up. Like he's
interesting.
Like he's sort of
there's some defects in there.
He's breaking down. Maybe
he's a little bit. Maybe a Bad Batch guy will come and say, "Oh, that's normal for us types."
Do we get Rex? Do we get other people like? Because I mean, he's there. Tem's there, so he can just play them all.
Yeah, I'd love to see a Rex show up.
I think that'd be great, and it would tie it in with like Ahsoka and Book of Boba Fett and all the stuff that they're trying to like build to.
Yeah. This grand galaxy that's been created.
With
this many
12 characters.
But no, I actually like the clones and Rex and stuff are part of Boba Fett's story, so I'm okay with them being in there. It's
showing Camino as well at the beginning. It made me go, I want more clone stuff in this.
Yeah. It'll be cool just to see him put on the beard as Rex.
Yeah, absolutely. Or like the rebel poncho from Endor.
Right.
One of the questions I had, Eddie, you mentioned, is that the same Boba Fett we see? Or we see Boba Fett later in The Mandalorian. His head looks way more scarred in that than in this show.
Well, I mean, the back tank obviously is healing him. I'm assuming the back tank is healing him.
Yeah.
But it's just he just seems like a more of a badass in that fight scene than we've seen, because he gets his ass kicked throughout this entire first episode.
Yeah.
By Sand People, by Jawas, by by those guys with the shields. I mean, they all sort of handle him pretty well.
Yeah. And if it's one of those things that if Fennec wasn't there to help, then
he'd be done.
He would be, absolutely.
And Fennec seems way more suited to be running the underground Jabba's empire than Boba. Boba Fett seems very out of his element.
And I got the impression that when he told the Gamorreans to take him back to the tank straight away, like he's leaving Fennec to do the work because he almost needs to still project that he can go.
Right.
That's why he's walking around on his own 2 feet and he's doing everything.
Fennec there to be the muscle because
Fennec is his muscle for sure.
Right.
Yeah.
So he sort of needs to project that strength, and she's helping do that. But yeah, I mean, I hope we don't get a betrayal, but she could turn around and go, "Why am I?"
That's what I'm saying, because I mean, and when he's sitting on the throne at the beginning, they're giving tributes to him, and she's the one who's like saying, "This is what you should be doing. Do this." And
Boba Fett's going around trying to gain all this respect. Was he respected prior to Jabba's sail barge? Like he was probably respected in the bounty hunter community, but as a crime lord, maybe not.
Yeah. Well, I think a crime lord has to behave differently than a bounty hunter. Crime lord really does have to do like that mayor's guy, the guy who showed for the mayor. That guy doesn't walk out of there alive. I mean, you don't. As a crime lord, Kingpin, that guy wouldn't be walking out of there alive. That was
that's it. You send that guy's head back to the mayor, sort of thing. Yeah,
dude, that guy was great.
He was so good.
That performance was amazing.
It made me really excited to see this mayor. That's the story that we're gonna get.
Yeah,
I'm assuming the mayor is the Ithorian from the trailers, the Hammerhead. And there's a rumor going around that the mayor, whatever his name is, his title is known as the Hammerhead.
Oh,
that's cool.
Would be they've been called Hammerheads before. Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It'd be fun. It'd be a fun thing that even if like in the underworld he's silently or quietly told, like they talk about the Hammerhead, but he is the mayor. You don't say that to his face.
Right. Yeah. Rural farm boy says somebody in the Twitterverse asked Pablo Hidalgo if he was Max Rebo. Oh, if it was Max Rebo. And Pablo replied, just keep watching. So that's
maybe
good.
It's not.
And then Scott D brings up something that I was wondering about and wasn't sure, but I'm glad he brought it up here. I love that Boston Dynamics has their spot robots doing background work for Star Wars now. Were those real? Those little dog robots?
As soon as we saw them, I was like, I bet they're a practical thing. I bet they're the Boston Dynamics dogs because it's what they look like. The way they moved, the legs and everything. It was just
our eventual overlords. Yes.
Yeah, right. The ones that we really need to be nice to. We put them in things now so that they don't kill us later.
I would love it if ILM said, forget it. We'll just do it in CG. Don't send your robots. It's a waste of time.
And the robots showed up anyway.
Yeah, they were just there knocking on the door, but like, we're ready for our scene now. About that street while we're still there. Those guards with the shields, they're wearing a lot of red. They're wearing a lot of like a dark red.
Crimson
Dawn. Been some rumors.
Crimson Dawn.
Do we think it's Crimson Dawn? Do we think that?
Is the mayor Darth Maul?
Is the mayor working for Crimson Dawn? Is more what I'm thinking.
Darth Maul's dead.
Darth Maul's dead by this point.
Darth Maul's
Spoilers
dead,
for those of you who haven't seen
Kira. It could be Kira.
Kira is still alive as of
it could
Empire.
Be Kira.
It could be
Age
Kira.
her up a little bit.
I think we're gonna get Kira.
Age her up 15 years.
Yeah.
I wouldn't take much. Like you don't need to do too much.
Ooh. Yeah.
So Ralph, you don't read any of the other stuff, but she's been
in the comic books. She's kicking ass in the comic books right now.
Yeah, she's just come back in. The timing is like suspicious.
Yeah, I bet
she was saying she wanted her to return.
Yep, and she wasn't filming anything last year around the time that they were filming this.
Oh my gosh! Are you a stalker?
No, I've just been reading a lot.
No, I just have her cell number. But if in Crimson Dawn in the comic books, Crimson Dawn is everywhere.
Yeah,
they're in the highest levels of the Empire. They're everywhere in the comic book series that's going on right now. So I wouldn't be surprised if they're they've spidered into the Jabba's former underworld, everything,
fill in those voids that were left by Jabba. I like it. I'm into it.
I'm all for it.
Yeah, and if it leads to more connective tissue, maybe with the Lando series or something.
It's not beyond those two guys to try to connect everything that's been made, because all they've done is elevate everything that's been made so far.
Yeah.
Oh, this could be a bit of a spoiler. This is out there, but Star Wars guy says the subtitles in one of the trailers / commercials called the Hammerhead character Mayor.
Cool. I think we see his major domo in one of those trailer shots next to him.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
I instantly was like, okay, it's that guy. That's cool.
Yeah.
And Star Wars guys also say Omega appearance is coming at some point. I'm assuming so. I don't know. I would say Ahsoka. I don't know. I don't know where she would show up.
Yeah. I mean, Omega's going to be the same age, isn't she? Or right around Boba Fett's age.
She was an unaltered clone around Boba Fett's
she unaltered?
timeline.
Yeah, she was. Yeah. Well, yeah, that was the thing. Well, she's an unaltered clone, but she's
taken from the same original genetic material as Boba Fett from Jango.
Yeah,
I believe.
Okay, I'm okay with that. I definitely have a problem with the universe being so small that everybody knows everybody and everybody pops up everywhere, except for Walrus Man and Dr. Evans, and that was totally fine. I was fine with that.
Are we getting both Walrus Men?
Slightly bigger head
walrus, and then there's a taller one.
Oh, those are the Snaggletooth.
Yeah,
Snaggletooth. That's right.
Blue Snaggletooth.
It's tall Snaggletooth and short Snaggletooth. That's right.
Well, knowing Filoni and these dudes, yeah,
probably. Well, knowing Filoni and these dudes, we're gonna see a Jawa with a vinyl cape.
Please, that would be awesome.
Please, with just the big under the arms. I want it. I want it. Blasters, those gray blasters.
Obi-Wan series, his lightsaber just comes out of his arms.
Like, Filoni put in like
got a little stick on the end.
Filoni put the classic Kenner Cantina guys in Clone Wars, like the Hammerhead with the blue tunic or the blue vest, and the Walrus Man with the orange, and the Greedo with the green. Like, if they showed up here, I'd be all for it. I was looking for him in the Sanctuary, but I didn't see him in the Sanctuary.
I hope. I'm sure that we will. I hope. Yeah, I do. I think we're going to see more of it, and like I think you don't build a set or you don't create in the volume a set like that impressive with Max Rebo and with named characters and stuff to not see it again.
Yeah,
right.
We don't know what that city is yet, do we?
I think it's Mos Espa, isn't it?
That's what they sounded like, but it didn't look
the way that they were talking about it. It didn't look like the Mos Espa that we know from episode 1.
I mean, it's been 30 years.
Like Jabba's palace is maybe like just outside of Mos Espa, so that's why Mos Espa people. But yeah, I mean,
with all the sandstorms, I could see them going underground.
I mean, they kept referring to it as Mos Espa, though. You're right. When I saw it, I was like, that's not Mos Espa, unless Mos Espa is this grand city that we only saw part of.
We only saw the junkyard and the slave quarters,
right?
Yeah. Which aren't going to be in the main sort of suburb.
Right.
Rural Fanboy says it surely is Mos Espa.
It makes sense because of how much they were name dropping that place.
Yeah. But, and apparently, I guess Mos Espa is probably the capital or the major city on Tatooine, I'm guessing.
I mean, they've got the stadium.
Mos Eisley is the scum and villainy section of. That's where they want to go in and they want to go in and gentrify Mos Eisley. Is what they want to do.
Rick DeMint asks if we are going to see Anchorhead. I think we can.
I think we could, but again, it got name dropped.
Was Tashi Station in Anchorhead? Do we know that?
I feel like it was closer. It was maybe like a gas station outside of Anchorhead.
We're definitely going to Tashi Station.
100%.
Based on the trailer, we saw Boba Fett in the white, I think, in the all white outfit from the flashbacks, going to Tashi Station. It's the same set from the deleted scene. And then there's a shot with 2 guards taking out 2 people. Could be Cammy and Fixer. I don't know. That would be a different part of the timeline if it was the Gamorrean guards. We'll see. I was.
If you're interested in Tashi Station, go have a previous video where we talk about the Tashi Station deleted scene.
Yeah, with the guys from Star Wars Minute.
Yep.
I was really afraid we were finally going to see what was under the head wraps of the sand people.
I'm glad we didn't.
I don't want it to happen. No. I don't want it to happen.
I'm glad that we got more of their culture, of their sort of civilization and stuff. It feels like with these series, they're doing a really good job of sort of like reevaluating them. We're seeing more of them. Like they're brutal, but they aren't evil. Like Mandalorian sort of showed that, you know, you can talk to them, you can reason with them, you can sort of barter with them in a way. But like, I like that, you know, they are the native Tatooiners. They're not.
But there's a different versions.
Yeah.
Based on this, like these guys had tents. Yeah. So some of them
clothing. These guys wore darker clothing than the.
I liked it. I liked the darker masks and the darker robes and stuff like that. I thought it looked cool. One of them, like their leader, looked like a shaman. Like
right. But they're definitely different from the episode 2 ones that Anakin killed.
Well, they're not there anymore.
Well, yeah, I guess so.
The men, women, children, none of them.
No, all of them. Killed them like animals.
But so the Chaka, there's who I was calling Chaka, the little Tusken Raider, reminded me of Chaka from Land of the Lost. Had the red turtleneck, implying Cobb Vanth. Can't be right.
No,
we don't know how much time has passed between Return of the Jedi and Cobb Vanth. It hasn't been that long.
It's only 5 years. Like 5 years, I think, right?
Yeah. I just thought it was really strange that little Chaka boy had the red
scarf,
collar, just like his.
I do think we're going to see Cobb Vanth in flashbacks, because I think that we're going to sort of track. We're going to track basically the flashbacks will be from getting out the Sarlacc to where we catch up with Boba Fett in the Mandalorian. I think we'll track.
But if he knows Cobb Vanth has that armor, he would go get it himself.
Maybe he's watching Cobb Vanth and sort of is in the same way that Mando comes around to it. He's just like, you know, he's not doing bad. Like he's doing okay.
His dad's head was in that helmet. He's gonna get it back. He's
or
not
maybe
gonna sit around and watch.
But now he fills it with coins and doesn't really care. I don't know if he's that precious.
Maybe he also feels like he's not strong enough to take him on.
Maybe, yeah. He's still like
he's waiting for the right time to try to get it from him, and that's when Mandalorian comes along. He sees, hey, this is my opportunity to try to get this armor.
Yeah,
I don't know.
According to Rural Farm Boy, Tashi Station is just outside Anchorhead. So there you go.
Yeah, he'd know he's a rural farm boy. Speaking of farm boys and the homes of farm boys, we see the Lars homestead.
Yeah,
do we?
Yeah,
I thought that wasn't it?
It certainly looked like it to me.
Really?
Yeah, so that's the Swoop Gang are kicking some people out. So my questions are, who is living in the Lars homestead?
No, it can't be.
It looks just like it. And if you look right,
I didn't see the dome. Was the dome there?
The dome was there, and then right to the right of it is the ridge.
Yep,
that Luke stands on.
I need to rewatch it. I only watched it the once. Okay.
Yeah. I could have swore that was. I mean, if not, I don't know why they would make it look so close to the Lars homestead if it wasn't going to be the Lars homestead. They would make some other looking structure there.
And the fact that they go there just before they go digging for water, it's a moisture farm. Of course, like if there's going to be these water eggs around, they're probably going to be close to the water, like the moisture farm and everything. So,
all right. No, I'm not doubting you. I just didn't. I just didn't notice.
Yeah,
now I got to go watch it again.
And also in the concept art at the end, it looks even closer. So
I can't imagine they would make it look that close to the Lars homestead with it not being Lars. They just make it look like some other.
Like the garage dome is like 1 for 1.
Yeah.
Yeah. Who would be in there? Just random people, right?
I guess.
Squatters. That's why we got to gentrify, man.
It's probably that. It's probably that old lady from episode 9.
Yeah.
Oh, it probably is her.
Yeah. Who are you? What's your name?
What are you doing out here?
Yeah, this is
digging for water seeds.
She's actually like the leader of that Swoop Gang. She's like, oh, you're just some girl. You don't have any money.
She's the den mother.
Yeah. She's got to pay her tributes to Boba Fett.
I was gonna ask. Okay, so you mentioned the coins in the helmet. Now, this is where I got to talk to Eddie and ask you to grab yours. You just got this Boba Fett helmet.
I did
for Christmas. There it is. And looking down into your helmet, I think looks way better than the inside of the prop one.
I mean, it looks legit in there. Like that looks like a real helmet.
Yeah. Like it's got places for your vocal things and
right there, and
like the cool looking
little pads,
helmet pads. The pads in the show one just look like cut out foam cord that they stuck inside. Yeah, it's cool.
That's cool. So hang on, that is the helmet, and that has been done up, and it has the one in the show. At that point, it has been sort of fixed up a bit, is in like fresh out the Sarlacc pit. So yeah, it should look better.
Right.
Are we gonna see that? Are we gonna see this in the flashback scene?
The Cad Bane scene.
Yeah.
Maybe.
That was Filoni's show.
Yeah.
That was Clone Wars. That was an undone episode of Clone Wars. So I wonder.
Yeah, Ralph, I don't know.
See that in the flashback?
Yeah, like they finally get to do that scene sort of thing.
Yeah, when Disney bought Lucasfilm, they were working on the final season of Clone Wars, and they cut it. They ended it. And there was an undone scene where they had the schematics done and all that other stuff.
All the animatics are out
there. The concept art.
You can see them.
Yeah, the animatics of that scene where they have a standoff.
Yeah.
And Boba kills Cad Bane, but he gets a shot off first and nails him in the helmet.
I think we will. I mean, the fact that we saw Cad Bane in Bad Batch, he was taking Omega, and he had a standoff with Fennec. So like, there's all the connective tissue is there for Cad Bane to show up in this.
But I could see Filoni going, I want to get this scene in because I didn't get it in last
Absolutely,
time.
yeah. We've explained
version.
that helmet.
Yeah, maybe we will. I hope we continue. Scott mentioned it earlier.
I'm always happy to see more Duros.
These back to scenes. People would go crazy for Cad Bane in live action.
Yeah,
absolutely.
It would be great, and
you can have the same voice actor because you just have a
save it for the
Duros.
Save it for the flashback, and then bring him in as your sort of Moff Gideon at the end.
Yeah. He walks through the door of Jabba's palace. He's been presumed dead for years, sort of thing.
Oh, you see the door of Jabba's palace come up, and you just see the silhouette with the hat.
Yeah, there you go.
That would end. That'd be great.
It's a good way to end the season.
I'd be cool with that.
It's the Luke Skywalker coming up the elevator sort of moment, isn't it?
Oh, Jesus. That's my favorite.
Why are you trying to give us all boners this early in the morning?
It's late in the afternoon for me.
Oh, you're fine.
Yeah.
We did an episode once where you could see the sun rising in my window as his was going down.
The yin and yang.
Yeah. I don't know if I have any more sort of Easter eggy things. I like the music. Ludwig Göransson did the themes. He did not do the score.
No, Joseph Shirley.
Yeah, not Joseph familiar, Shirley. But I like the music. Music
it works.
Fine.
It plays off. It feels close enough to Mandalorian that it's sort of a piece, but it's got its own stuff. It's
yeah.
Ludwig's
definitely
themes, the Boba Fett theme now, like when you hear it, it feels like Boba Fett's music. Just because we've seen it a couple of times, I like it.
People want Cad Bane. This is probably some sort of it's a spam thing. I don't know what that is. I think we're on a list now.
Sweet.
It's a bot farm, man.
Yeah. Views of views.
Scott D asks if he thinks we'll get Hondo Tanaka in this.
I think at some point in some series we'll get him. I don't know if we'll get him in this but I think at some point we get him.
I mean, he's around. Right. He's on.
There's a live action in Galaxy's Edge of him.
Yeah, exactly. Also, did you notice? What's his name from Star Tours was dealing cards?
Yes,
that was great. Yeah. Love that.
So there was a Rex droid.
Another Rex.
So now he's in canon. Even though he was in Clone Wars, there was that episode where they were undercover in a tour, like a tour starship, and he was the thing. Totally. Didn't hear any Pee-wee in there, but I'm sure maybe later.
Yeah, maybe.
This is our first sighting of a hot, good-looking male Twi'lek.
Yeah, dude. Just hot Trandoshans all over this place. Like
my wife was like,
he looked awesome.
My wife was like, finally.
Yeah.
Finally. Because so far we got like Bib Fortuna, who didn't look great.
And that's Senator.
Senator.
I mean, yeah, I feel like of all the different alien species that we've seen in Star Wars, we've seen the most varied of Twi'leks. Like we've seen male, female, different colors,
hot ones,
big,
ugly
smalls,
ones.
hot ones, ugly ones. Like we've had a bunch. It's good. It's representation. Twi'lek representation is important.
Yeah.
And then Jennifer Beals.
Yeah.
Jennifer Beals from Flashdance is the Twi'lek.
She's the
supervisor.
That was her.
Yeah, the manager.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's the manager.
Yeah. Damn.
You didn't recognize her with.
I didn't. Without water being dropped on her head, I didn't really.
Maybe when Boba Fett finally gives into torture, they'll stick a chair in the middle of the room.
The waterboarder. That'd be amazing.
Just one big splash of water. That's it.
I was impressed with how little dialogue there was in this episode. Like in the both flashes, like the beginning and the end, the bookends of this, they're basically dialogue free because he tries talking to the Rhodian who's having none of it. He likes being a captive, I guess.
Yeah.
And then
that might be how Robert Rodriguez works. I guess Favreau directed this episode though and wrote it.
No,
this
Robert Rodriguez directed it.
In the credit, it says written by Favreau. Right?
Yeah, Favreau wrote it.
Okay.
But Robert Rodriguez directed it.
Mm-hmm. But I mean, I feel like they're going to be playing to his strengths, so it makes sense for a character that was up until this point like
silent,
had 12 words or something in the original trilogy.
They said in the Mandalorian episode where Boba Fett shows up, that Robert Rodriguez directed, that was only like a 12-page script.
Exactly, like
and they just let him go.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe that's what they did here. They just
he's the mariachi of the Star Wars universe. You know, he doesn't need to say much.
He really is.
Yeah. Completely.
And you get
played by someone in the past and then improved by a later actor.
Right.
Yeah. Do you think we'll see him? Do you think we'll see Antonio Banderas in this? Because I feel like this Robert Rodriguez, like this is his show. Oh, maybe.
What if he was Hammerhead?
I love it. People say things as jokes, and Ralph's like, "Oh yeah, I want it."
Oh, yeah,
I'm up for anything, man. It's
anything.
Yeah, have fun shit. I just want fun shit.
He's the sort of thing that he could just be another person giving a tribute to Boba Fett. Like he could just walk in, deliver a couple of lines,
dressed as the mariachi.
Again. Yeah, just come in with a guitar case and be like, "Here you go."
Flat out Earth guitar case.
Yeah. That'd be great.
Are we gonna see a Rancor Keeper?
Ooh, Malakili.
Sad. He's gonna be sad.
I mean, that guy's such.
Will he still be sad?
He's such a yes. He's still mourning the loss of his Rancor.
Absolutely.
But if there's some menagerie down there, why wouldn't there not be him down there keeping all those things?
Yeah, he's just the zookeeper.
Yeah, he's just a crazy zookeeper.
Mm. Yeah, I'm all for
He's the Matt Damon of the Star Wars universe.
You bought a zoo?
Yeah. I don't have any other notes. We've gone through everything that I've gotten written down.
Any general thoughts or any predictions? What you're looking forward to? What do you think of the show? I thought it was awesome.
I
actually found it really enjoyable, and I can't wait to rewatch it.
I'm glad that I watched it twice.
Yeah, I got to watch it again. I only saw it the one time, but I'm very excited to see where it goes, and I do like the fact that they're telling it through flashbacks, and you're finding out how you're filling in the blanks of the people, of everyone that loved this character and loved the original trilogy, and we're not just seeing the new version where he's just this crime lord. We're filling in those blanks of how he got out of Sarlacc pit, how he got himself back together, how we saw how he got his armor back in Mandalorian, but now we're seeing like. Because he seems like I said,
getting Slave One again, like
reclaiming Slave One. We're seeing all these old places. What's up?
Is it where he left it? Is it parked somewhere?
Does he have to get it from somebody? Oh, is there a boot on?
I think I know. I think I know what's up with Slave One. Before he was at Jabba's palace, he was at Jabba's palace, and then went on the sail barge. I believe in one of the trailers, because they've been posting all that. I stopped watching them, but I believe there is a shot of the Slave One in Jabba's palace. So it might have just been still parked there.
In those opening shots where we're getting like the establishing shots of the palace in this show, in one of the wide shots, there is definitely like the rim of what is probably a hangar. If you look like on you guys' second watch, like on the lower section of it, you get the wide shot of the palace. You see the different towers and stuff, and then you can just see the top of what is probably the hangar. So yeah, it makes sense that that's where Slave One's parked up.
Yeah,
but he would have to have gone in, stolen it, and then got out before Bib Fortuna knows, because Bib is surprised. Yeah, and Bib's surprised to see it.
Yeah,
maybe that's still parked in there. It's not still parked in there from Jedi.
I mean, it's been 5 years. Wouldn't Bib Fortuna sell that?
Maybe. Yeah, maybe.
Or get stolen. Maybe. I don't know. But I'm excited to see.
Go out for pizza runs because that dude ate a lot.
I love. I mean, it's just filled with old pizza boxes. It's just he just shoves all his garbage in there. But I'm excited to see where it goes. To see, because they've made Boba so human and so fragile in this first series, in this first episode. Like, how does he become the crime lord? Does he not? Does this not work out for him? Because he seems so out of place being a crime lord. He doesn't know how to do it.
He's trying. He wants to do it. Yeah. He's got this moral code that you think maybe he's got from his dad or something, but like,
and that doesn't work for a crime lord. Can he make it work? Is what's going to happen? I mean, it's
why would he want to do this? Like what? Like
he's done with bounty hunting. He probably can't. He's not. He's too old for that shit. So he's trying something
wants to
new.
Settle down.
Yeah. Yeah. I like the relationship between him and Fennec. I think it's at the moment it feels still very professional. Like she wakes him up, but then like she turns around while he's getting out of the tank and everything. It's like it doesn't seem like it's romantic at this point, but it wouldn't surprise if,
I mean,
like
he saved her life, so
Exactly.
she does owe him. But like, how far does that go?
Yeah, that's not a great way to start a relationship.
Yeah.
First Star Wars sex scene.
Ooh.
Yeah. I don't need to see it.
Just a hard R episode.
I always wanted their Twi'lek to be involved in the first Star Wars sex scene.
They throw that up on Hulu.
That sexy male Twi'lek, like bring him in, definitely. That dude doesn't need a stunt cock.
Touching tentacles.
That's how they do it. Oh no, we don't need James Cameron's Avatar in this.
Things get slippery.
They're self-lubricating.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's a good place to end it.
Is there anything you want to see in the future? Do you want to see Dengar, Bosk?
I want to see the old gang.
I want to see them all. Yeah,
you want to see them all.
And
I think you will. I can't imagine them doing the series and you not seeing the original bounty hunters. I can't imagine them not bringing those guys in.
Yeah.
So
and the fact that Boba Fett said he worked for that dude, that Trandoshan.
He's talked about Trandoshans. He's got a history with Trandoshans. So Bosk, I feel like he's the most likely. Dengar, possibly.
That's what I want.
Dengar.
Yeah, Bosk,
Dengar.
Dengar would be cool. Yeah.
Yeah. Steve Buscemi. He's done stuff with Robert Rodriguez. Have him Dengar.
Wow.
What's up, fellow bounty hunters?
Well, Dengar's got an Australian accent, I believe, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So
it'd be cool.
Russell Crowe as Dengar. Russell Crowe as Dengar.
He likes to fight things.
Oh, come on.
Oh, Russell Crowe as Dengar would be fantastic.
Yeah.
Anybody, if anyone is Dengar, and Scott D wants Dash Rendar.
Well,
of course.
I mean, seeing the Outrider. Before. I was gonna say, seeing the Outrider fly by, like it would make sense.
We've seen this.
Are we gonna make it through? Are we gonna make it through this series without a lightsaber?
Ooh.
Every Star Wars thing has had a lightsaber, with the exception of the holiday special.
I'm gonna say that he has a flashback and sees either Mace cutting off Jango's head or Luke swinging away wildly. I don't think we'll see a new lightsaber. I think we'll see a flashback lightsaber.
Or maybe Mace is alive and he comes back and he's hunting down Mace for killing down his dad.
Or we get some Clone Wars flashbacks of what Daniel Logan's up to and stuff like that.
That's what I want. I want Daniel Logan flashbacks. I think that would be cool.
Like mid-20s, early 30s Boba Fett.
His emo period.
Yeah. He's got the long hair, swooped over.
My dad's dead, man. You don't know.
Listening to Dashboard Confessional in Slave One.
I'm a clone. These aren't even my genes. He's just pissed because he's not himself. I don't even know who I am.
It's really different skinny jeans.
Well, before we go, Eddie, I'm going to pop this up here so everybody can see it. Boom.
Oh, thanks.
Pence.com. Anything you want to plug?
You can check out my comedy special on Amazon Prime called The Unspecial Comedy Special, or you can get it all transactional platforms like iTunes and all that stuff.
Star Wars content in
Star
that
Wars
set.
There's some Star Wars content in that set. I also have another podcast called The Ralph Report on patreon.com with the legendary Ralph Garman. I do that 5 days a week with him.
I listen every day. I love it.
Thank you. And then I have my other podcast, the Ramble with comedian Jerry Rocha. We do that one 4 days a week, but we've been off for a while because Jerry's had some health issues, but he's back and ready to go. So hopefully in the new year, we'll be back up 4 days a week again. So
greatest thing about that show is that you have a box of TIE Fighter, the old computer TIE Fighter game, sitting up there in the front.
Yeah.
Or is it X-Wing? Is it X-Wing or is it TIE Fighter? I think it's TIE Fighter.
It's Jerry's. It might be TIE Fighter. I think it's TIE Fighter.
Yeah.
But we talk about all sorts of nerd stuff on there. It's pretty fun. We geek out.
Yeah. Well, cool. Other than that, next week we are going to be back. We are going to be doing this at a different time, a little bit earlier.
Earlier than this?
Sorry.
Yeah.
Because of the time difference and because of my work schedule, unfortunately, for the next couple of weeks, we do have to do it earlier.
James works 12-hour third shift hours in England.
Yeah.
So it's a little bit odd scheduling, but hey, if you can't join us that soon, this goes up immediately after. You can watch it after you watch next week's episode of Boba Fett, and I'm looking forward to that. Visit us liveactionstarwars.com. That takes you to our YouTube page. Yep. Go to Live Action SW. That's our site, and then follow us at Live Action SW. And until then, may the force be with you.
Punch it.